Alright, what's up everybody? It's your boy BrandonRVG and I'm back with another video. If you're watching this right now, it's my birthday. Yes, I'm 25 years old, bro. 25 years old. If you see this, hey, it's my birthday. But it's crazy. It's crazy that I'm 25. But the day didn't start yet. It's like right now, almost about to be 1 o'clock in the morning. That's me, yeah. But yeah, on this channel, I'm going to be live streaming with the guys. If you want to see it, hey, all my boys coming over, going to live stream, talk, and do all that. But 3 months ago, I reacted to the darkest scary things that happened on TV. If you want to go watch that, and I'll put the link down in the description, and then we'll take you to the video if you want to go check it out. But today we're going to react to the same person who made that video. He makes a lot. I subscribe to this nigga. This nigga makes good, scary, good content. It's not scary, but he finds dark stories about this, and it's crazy. It's crazy. But we're going to react to YouTube's darkest channels. I'm gonna put his name down in the description. Just click his name and take you right to his page. You can go subscribe. This guy makes good content, bro. Good content. But let's like the video, subscribe, and let's get into this reaction.
That I've done this, I want you to know that you mean everything to me.
A major break in the shooting of a...
See how mild and good tasting a cigarette can be.
Do you want to know what it's like? Harley, if you hear or read this, please come home.
Hey guys, what's up? It is Harley Dilly.
Our first channel, like many others we've discussed before, doesn't look like much at a glance. It's an account run by a young boy named Harley Dilly.
That name is crazy, but don't lie, bro. When you was a kid, bro, I bet you everybody's first YouTube video for real was 3 things: Minecraft, Roblox, GTA. I would say GTA 5. I'm missing something. I would say Fortnite too. Fortnite maybe some of y'all first video could be Fortnite. Maybe Call of Duty, maybe, yeah.
Served as an outlet for him to post videos about his life, his favorite video games, and even the occasional live stream. And quite honestly, the majority of this YouTube channel seems completely normal. But when looking at this content closer, it becomes more and more apparent that there was darkness lurking behind the scenes. Darkness that would become even more apparent as in December of 2019, Harley Dilly would vanish.
But first, a heartbroken mother waiting.
He will vanish? Like he just disappeared?
For her missing son to walk back into her arms.
Tonight marks 7 days since the disappearance of 14-year-old Harley Dilly.
Like many kids his age, Harley was interested in video games such as Roblox and Madden, and he had been posting.
Oh, he was a Madden player? Okay, he was playing Madden? Oh, I know people had to be watching him a lot, bro. Bro, I'm terrible at Madden, bro. I'm really terrible. I'm good at FIFA. Only sport games I would say I'm good at FIFA and 2K. Madden is not for me.
Videos of himself playing these games since the young age of 10 years old. Over time, Harley would begin to show his audience more and more about his life, with topics ranging from his hobbies to his recent performances at school. And even through this, there was nothing that really seemed to hint at anything.
He's a goofy kid, bro. You see that? Bro, you know he's a goofy kid, bro.
And even through this, there was nothing that really seemed to hint.
Bro, this kid had to have a lot of friends. Come on, man. Come on.
At anything dark happening in Harley's life. But over time, a clear trend starts to emerge within these videos, and that is the fact that Harley and his mother would frequently get in arguments.
No, what?
So yesterday, Well, actually today, my mom and I got into an argument because I didn't want to walk to school. Because I live like 4 blocks and it's like 34 degrees.
Multiple times throughout these early videos, and it's nothing all that surprising. I mean, after all, most kids will argue with their parents, and it's likely that Harley was using his channel as an outlet to express his frustrations. But any idea of this being your typical family bickering would soon be thrown out the window in October of 2018, when Harley would hold a now deleted live stream titled, "I'm Scared."
What's up? It is Harley Dewey. Probably one of my worst days of my life. My mom wanted me to go with her to go get a friend, and I said I don't want to. I have work to do, so I want to go home. We argued for about a good 5 minutes. Then she snapped. She said she was gonna call the police, and she said she already did. And she locked me out of the house. So right now I'm outside. Yep, the house is locked. I haven't ate anything, and I still haven't even got to get my work done. My mom's gone.
Right now, before we start like the video, right now, who do you think is to blame so far right now? Like so far, like just think about it. Who, the mom or him? She's a mom, bro. Just listen to your mom. That's all you gotta do. Listen to your mom. Even when they're wrong, when they're right, just listen. That's all you gotta do. Then when you get your own crib, you can do whatever you want. I'm just saying.
She won't answer the phone. I legit was scared.
Damn. I mean, he is telling about his feelings and stuff. Well, he don't have to do this. This is why the internet is not for everybody. But yeah, I don't think you should be mad at your mom. Like, just listen. And how old is he?
In the video, we see Harley outside in the cold as he explains that his mother had threatened to call the police on him
And then why would she want to call the police? He didn't even do nothing for real.
over an argument that the two had had. On top of this, his mother also locked him outside of the house without any food or water on a frigid October night. Now clearly these aren't really healthy things for his mother to be doing, especially given the fact that at this time, Harley was merely 12 years old.
I knew it. I said 12, 13, or 14. Round that, them 3. Knew he was 12, bro. I knew he had to be really young. That's why I'm so confused about that. Like, why? He's not like a 15 or, no, I can't say 15. You still sitting at security. He's not like 19 or 18. He's not that age. He's literally 12.
And this extreme punishment came from a situation that didn't seem all that bad. The whole situation is a major red flag that's made all the more concerning after Harley says the following line.
I just want you guys to wish me good luck because the future could hold bad things for me. I don't want to find out what that could mean.
What do he mean? What do he mean about that?
The relationship between Harley and his mother clearly comes across as toxic within this video, and this was far from a one-time thing. In fact, in details that would later emerge, it would be revealed that Harley's mother had actually called the police on him on 5 separate occasions, one of which coming when he was only 10 years old.
He's 10. What did he do? Like, only way you will call the police if he's trying to stab you or try to kill you, but I feel like he's too young to even try to do that. And then you're calling the police on him when he's 10 years old. Why did you call the police on him when he's 10 years old? I have to know why, bro. I have to know why.
Now you might take this information and just assume that Harley was a poorly behaved kid. However,
that's what, maybe. But he said, however,
in actuality, Harley had ADHD as well.
I have that too. So she was using that as an advantage to try to call the police.
As high-functioning autism, two disorders that can cause hyperfixation, outbursts, and many of the behaviors that had led to all of these family arguments. And in these situations, Harley is practically powerless to stop his own outbursts or destructive tendencies.
He's just a kid. One, that's the one. He had a kid. He has a kid mind. He's a kid. Second, he got ADHD, so he's going to act like a kid.
And it's really up to his mother to understand this and find a way to help him with these habits. But rather, it's made clear that she would punish him instead. And it's important to add that with these outbursts, I haven't seen anything stating that they were violent or anything physical. Rather, it just seems that they were merely occasional behavioral issues. And this friction-filled relationship extends past just Harley and his mother. On one particular video, we can hear Harley's father, Marcus, yelling and screaming in the background at Harley's mother and 4-year-old sibling because the young child had spilled their drink. Extends past just Harley and his mother. On one particular video, we can hear Harley's father, Marcus, yelling and screaming in the background at Harley's mother and 4-year-old sibling because the young child had spilled their drink.
You're yelling at the mom. And a 4-year-old kid because they spilled your drink. It's a 4-year-old. I have a son. He's a kid. He is a little kid. He's going to make, he should not get screamed at or nothing. He's a little kid. You could tell him no. You could tell him no. Don't do that again. Don't do that again or nothing. But screaming at them, it sounds like the father is fucking, it's like the asshole more.
God damn it! Just fucking don't fucking pop all over the fucking table like throw this goddamn thing in. It's 4 years old.
Thank you. The mom was so confused at the end. Bro, she's 4 years old, my nigga. She is 4 years old.
It's done. You are so fucking mean. He is a child.
My dad's being an asshole right now, my bad.
Now,
Bro, oh my God, that's so sad to even hear it from. It's a child, bro. He don't have to be mad about that.
time would go on and these slight moments of concerning behaviors would show up here and there, but for the most part went unseen from his channel. Harley would eventually switch to a brand new page in 2019 called Harley Dilly 2.0, where he continued posting similar content until eventually, on December 10th, 2019, when he would post a typical looking Madden Mobile gameplay video. A video that would turn out to be one of the darkest on the channel. Not
Wait, I was 19 when this happened.
because it showcased any family fighting or anything along those lines, but because it would prove to be the last video that Harley would ever make. 1 week later, on December 19th, 2019, Harley would complain of an upset stomach and ask his mother if he could stay home from school. She would not allow him to, however, telling him to, quote, "get your ass to school." And so he left the house, walking towards the school as he always did. Only this time, he wouldn't make it there.
He passed out, did he? He had to pass up. Wow.
Day would turn to night, and not only had Harley not shown up to school, but he wasn't at his home either. And to make matters worse, it was yet another freezing cold night. Still, Harley's parents did not seem overly worried, as they would end up waiting until the next morning to report their son as
Okay, they're bad parents. I'm saying it. I don't care. They was not what? They was not what?
Was yet another freezing cold night. Still, Harley's parents did not seem overly worried.
You was not worried? My mom, no. My mom would have been worried and where the hell are you at? I text my mom. I don't have Wi-Fi, but when I get to the destination that I have to be at, or I have Wi-Fi somewhere, I'll text my mom that I told her I'm here. Because I have seizures, so I have to tell my mom where I'm at and all that. She can know. So I tell her I'm here, I'm okay, and all that. So my mom's worried every time where I'm out. Even though that this 12-year-old, wait, they said this happened in 2019. So he was 12 in 2015. So he might been, I'm doing my math right, he would have been 17 or 16. He would have maybe been like around there, 17 or 16. So he's a teenager. And he goes to school. You tell him, no, you're going to school. You go to school. But he didn't go to school. He didn't even go to school. That's mean. When he was supposed to be going to school, walking to school, he didn't even go to school. So, and then he didn't come home, but school was over. And then all day and in the morning, you didn't get no call or he didn't come home. You ain't worried? I would have been worried right then he didn't even come to school. I mean, I would have been worried he didn't come home. And I found out he didn't even go to school. Like, I would have been worried. I have to see.
As they would end up waiting until the next morning to report their son as missing.
Okay.
Harley's mother, Heather, would take to Facebook in a now deleted post begging people to help find her son. But days would quickly pile up into weeks with no sign of the 14-year-old boy.
Okay.
As search efforts ramped up and the story became national news, people began to stumble across Harley's channel, discovering videos like the I'm Scared livestream, calling many to question the parents' potential involvement in his disappearance, as it seemed throughout these videos that Harley had been potentially neglected or even abused. This theory was especially prevalent given the fact that they had waited a whole day to report Harley as missing.
Exactly. You waited a whole day. I know. What's the hours that you have to wait to prove somebody missing? Is it 24 hours? That's a whole day. But you have to wait, right? That will make sense why they did that. But hey, I'm not still waiting for 24 hours. If I know my son or daughter is 100% not supposed to be home or somewhere where I'm supposed to know, and then now he's not there or something, yeah, I'm going to try to do literally like I don't understand, bro. This is making
as well as the cold message that Heather had left Harley with that morning. However, most others believe that Harley had just ran away under the guise of going to school. Either way, authorities had no clue where Harley could have gone, as he just vanished without leaving a trail behind. However, on January 13th, 2020, this would all change. That day, police had searched an empty home across the street, which at the time no one was living in, as it served more as a summer home for the owners. When searching the house, police would find clothing that belonged to Harley, including his jacket, sweatpants, a single sock, and slip-on shoes. Glasses were also found lying there as well. It was clear that Harley had been in that home, but the rooms were all empty.
Yeah, I was about to say, was it empty? It was all empty, so they didn't find him, so he left.
And there was no sign of him at all, other than his clothing. It wasn't until investigators decided to look up the chimney that they would find what they were looking for. Lodged within the narrow, claustrophobic opening was Harley's decomposing body, trapped within its four walls. Coroners would later conclude.
How did he get his clothes in there then? Cause I can't say, oh, he was trying to just get in there in a different way. No. His clothes and shit was in there. So somebody had to put him in there. I feel like somebody put him in there.
That he had died of compressive asphyxiation, which happens when respiration is prevented by external pressure of the body. According to official reports, it was believed that Harley had attempted to get inside the locked house, knowing it was vacant, by going through the chimney. Right next to the house stood a telephone pole with prongs like a ladder that he would have likely taken to get up there. Once on the roof, Harley then supposedly attempted to slide down the chimney, an opening that was just 9 by 13 inches. But once halfway down, Harley would become stuck, having just enough room to shed his clothing in an attempt to have just a little bit more space. Unable to climb out of the chimney, and now in a minimal amount of clothing, Harley would have been stuck there in the cold, with virtually no hope of survival, as no one was home to hear his screaming. It would be within that chimney that Harley would slowly suffocate to death. It's a heartbreaking way to go, but even though this is the official conclusion, there...
Rest in peace, bro. I don't even know who was wrong in this situation, for real. I can't say if it was the parents' fault, for real. I can't say if it's his fault, because it's just like both of the situations they're both wrong, for real, at the same time. Both of them. The parents should not, like, talked to him or did that to him. He should have not even tried to run away in the first place, and he should not even try to go down that chimney. He would still be alive. He would still be making videos. R.I.P. to him, bro. And then I have to see, I swear to God, I played this video, bro, and the parents really don't show this boy some love or something, bro. Because for real, this boy, bro, he could have been a good YouTuber, bro. He could have been a really good YouTuber. I bet you back then everyone loved his videos back then.
There's still many who point blame at the parents, with many even thinking that they were somehow involved. This is not only because of the circumstances seen throughout the channel, but also because of the behavior of Harley's father. While police were frantically searching for Harley, his father had allegedly bragged about the amount of coverage that this case was getting. He had also told his colleagues that he was taking out a life insurance policy on Harley just a week after he had disappeared, and 2 weeks before his body was found. And when describing the relationship that Marcus had with Harley, his own son, he described it as strained, saying, "We know each other, and there's a relationship there. He knows I'm his dad, and he's my son, but the relationship is rocky." Now, honestly, I have never heard a father talk like this about...
Yeah, me too. Like, I never heard a father talk like this. This is your son. I know there's some deadbeat dads out there, and they would never say nothing like that.
About their own son, especially when that son was missing. And so I can understand why people have red flags about the parents, especially with the dark clues left behind on his channel. Plus a slew of other minor inconsistencies throughout the entirety of the case that truthfully would require a full documentary to go over every detail. But ultimately, there is no actual concrete physical evidence that proves that this was anything other than an accident. An accident spurred on as a combination of Harley's autism and his frayed relationship with his parents, a relationship that led to his eventual running away and ultimately his death. And seeing it play out through his channel is an eerie thing, as it subtly hints at the fate.
Happy Wheels. I knew there was something else I forgot. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. But Happy... He was a Jordan fan, bro. He was a Jordan fan. Hey, bro, shout out to this bro. See, bro, he was a Troyden fan. He was a Troyden. Shout out to Troyden, bro. I don't know if niggas don't know about him, bro. But this boy was a Troyden fan. And he played all the good games. He talked about his life. Bro, this kid, if this kid was still alive, bro, till this day, if he was still alive till this day, bro, he would have been a good YouTuber. I bet you he would be a good YouTuber. I put money on it. He will be up there, bro. I bet you if he was still alive, I'll put money on it. He would have been playing Roblox or he would have been playing Fortnite. He would have been a Fortnite or a Roblox player. I swear, he would have been a good one. He would have been a good one, too. He would have been a good one.
That would soon befall him. But in Harley's case, these clues were hidden, buried within a channel that was otherwise nothing out of the ordinary. But this isn't always the case. Sometimes you stumble across a dark channel with nothing to hide.
Who's this grandpa right here, bro? Who's this, bro?
And oftentimes, those can be the most disturbing.
More doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette.
This next channel takes us all the way back to the spring of 2006, a time that was essentially the dawn of YouTube. It's a period that has left behind some of the strangest contents on the site, and through it all was a single forgotten account.
Give me a hell yeah! I don't have beers or a can, so give me a hell yeah!
Account known as Leather Smoke Me, a channel seemingly dedicated to smoking cigarettes.
How many? Wait.
Page shows.
Okay, wait. This nigga had 965 subscribers. And, whoa, wait, time out. I was about to talk shit, but I see the thumbnails, and I understand why he got them. I was about to talk shit and be like, y'all just sit here and watch niggas just smoke? But this nigga is is that 4 fucking blunt? Is that 4 cigarettes in his fucking nose? Oh, I understand. This nigga had to have more subscribers than this, bro.
Was a man who rarely speaks, as he finds creative ways to smoke, with his very first upload being...
Okay, I had a weird thing. I hope, because he said he finds a creative way to smoke. I hope, dear to God, there's no one video he smokes with his ass. I hope the people who was watching, you was thinking about that too. Like, there has to be a video he made me smoke with his ass. Let me stop.
And called gas mask smoking.
Bad happened to this man. I'm just making jokes. I'm so sorry.
The video itself is quite uneventful, as this man does exactly what the title says. He smokes a cigarette with the use of a gas mask. And though it's clearly a fairly extreme way of smoking, it's nothing compared to what we'd see in his following videos. Throughout his first year, this man would smoke cigars out of his nose, smoke multiple cigarettes in his mouth, and even a combination of both. It is definitely a strange thing to watch, especially all these years later, but in the realm of early YouTube, it was nothing all...
Why I thought he turned black.
that crazy. However, as the years would go by, we would see Leather Smoke Me continue to push boundaries and find new ways to smoke more and more. At one point, he even built a contraption that allowed him to smoke 10 cigarettes at a time. It's really...
This man wanted cancer. This man wanted he wanted past cancer. He wanted to pass that.
Really a shocking thing to see, just the way things progressed throughout the early years of this channel, especially knowing the effects that just smoking on an average basis can have on your body. But as time went on, his smoking habits weren't the only noticeable change. In the beginning, we can see that this man looks to be clearly an adult, but definitely isn't all that old, and just based off of the footage provided, he seems to be in decent health, or at least as healthy as someone can be with the lifestyle he was living. But as time goes on, his appearance starts to slowly change. He begins to look much older, with noticeable paleness and aging within his face.
Oh, I'm guessing that the cigarettes did that to him. Of course. This man knew what he was doing. One, do he never had family members who never seen his videos and had to just like stop him and be like, bro, you're doing too much, bro. Like, do something else. Like, why are you showing people different ways how to smoke, like cigarettes? Like, do weed. Well, you can't do that because you might get kicked off the fucking platform. So do something else. Go touch grass. Okay, go touch grass.
And along with this, his appearance becomes much more fragile, to the point where this man looks to be completely withered, even having a noticeable bandage on his neck in his later videos. And all this happened in the span of just a few years, yet it seems like he's aged a lifetime. By 2011, Leather Smoke Me just looks like a shell of a person, but he just kept on smoking and uploading these videos. I mean, his upload frequency was pretty crazy, considering that in just 5 short years, he would post around 229 videos, without ever taking any major time away, something that is somewhat surprising, especially for a channel as small as Leather Smoke Me's. But nonetheless, he seemed to just love making these videos, and he just kept on smoking until video 195. In it, we see the unrecognizable man smoking a single cigarette while listening to Lady Gaga's Alejandro. By the ending, the song finishes and he attempts to speak to his audience, but his words are impossible to understand. The video was posted on July 10th, 2011, with the caption, "Still here and still smoking." This would be the final video he'd ever post.
Damn.
The red flags here are obvious. An obsessive smoker who was withering before our eyes and just randomly stopped posting on a channel that was so clearly one of his life's passions. It's not hard to speculate on what became of him. And just by following the trail he left behind, the evidence confirms my dark suspicion.
I just want to know something. This is the curious thing I want to know from this part right here. Did he ever get a booger on his like his weed thing? Like, he never got a booger or nothing? And then when he's like smoking it, I know it gets small. Like, there's a point that if he takes it out when it gets to a small point, because it could get stuck in there. Like, this is curious shit I want to know. Like, I don't want to go to his channel because the man's not even alive, I guess.
The trail he left behind, the evidence confirms my dark suspicion. In a video uploaded on January 31st of 2011, we see this smoker looking especially ill, something that is confirmed by his description, where he says, "My return after cancer surgery." He elaborates more on this in the following video when he writes, "Hey guys, after a 6-month battle with oral cancer, I'm still here and still smoking. Dave." With this information, we know that Dave had cancer, a cancer likely caused by his rampant smoking. Yet even through a major surgery, he was still continuing to smoke these cigarettes, doing the very thing that likely led to his failing health in the first place. And as it turns out, the cancer would prove to be fatal. I wanted to let Dave's friends on here know that he passed away last night. I have good memories of our friendships over the last 11 years, and he will be missed. This comment, along with multiple others on the channel, addressed to Dave, all seem to confirm what many of us were thinking.
Yeah, rest in peace, bro. Like, you should have not did this, but rest in peace, bro. Rest in peace. Like, it's so sad to even think about this. Like, bro, I just don't know. Like, that's crazy to just even thinking about this. Let's get back.
That Dave had passed away after posting this final video. It's a channel that is probably as dark as it gets. A man documenting the literal thing that would end up taking his life. And it's so saddening seeing his addiction get to the point that even though he knew it was going to kill him, he just kept on smoking. It's almost as if this channel shows a man in a 5-year-long suicide. Now, though this channel is dark in and of itself, there's a whole other side to this all that might make things even more disturbing. And it's something that initially I had completely missed until I read the following comments. The thread reads, "Smoker with cancer, such a frail man in his late 40s. He loved to smoke." Someone then responds with, "Exactly correct. The man ruined his life. I love it." The original...
What the fuck is wrong with these people? Oh no, y'all going to hell.
Commenter then replies, "Me too. Love the damage that Dave inflicted on his lungs. So f***ing hot. I'm pretty much following in his footsteps. I have an insatiable craving for my smoke." It's a alarming set of comments, as it's almost as if these people were sexualizing Dave's death, and the fact that the smoking had caused this horrible cancer. And it's made even stranger when the commenter says he wanted to follow in his footsteps. It's something that could have easily been chalked up to as a troll, until you realize that throughout many of his videos, even in the beginning, there were similar sexualized comments, with people saying stuff like, "Hot as hell, just missed some lung spit. Hot mate, be great for you to do more vids where we can hear the cough and the wheeze. Hearing that is the hottest thing of all. Keep smoking hard, fella." And, he was starting to show his illness a bit here, with his sunken eyes and getting skinny. Cancer god. Love it when smokers' cancer starts to shrivel them up.
What is the world going to? Like, it's not even the world. What is these humans going through? Like, these humans are dumb as... Brandon, calm down. They're just people who don't know. I crashed out in my head.
Even in YouTube standards, this is a strange comment section, and it's clear that people were viewing Dave's cancer and his death as sexually appealing. And after watching this video, I then realized that Dave's entire channel was seemingly meant to be fetishized, as he posts videos of himself showing off his gut and his wheeze for his...
Wait. His wheeze? What do you mean wheeze? Wait, go back.
As he posts videos of himself showing off his gut and his wheeze for his audience, knowing that they're enjoying it in a sexual way. He even at one point posted this fairly disturbing clip where he has someone wrapped in latex completely with a gas mask on and then forces them to smoke. All the while he touches himself in a sexual way that I'm clearly not going to show. But this is definite...
Pause. One, they let... Wait, time out. Let me go back. To YouTube let this slide. I could maybe say the one wrong word right now, and my channel could be gone, like that. This man was pleasuring himself while somebody was smoke. I don't know who was in that latex, but he made them smoke, and he was playing with himself. And YouTube made this slide. What was wrong with YouTube back then? Everyone got away with shit like this, bro. That's crazy.
Fetish material. And further going off that, he even subscribed to and linked to a number of other smoking channels that were
y'all wanted to do this.
obvious fetish pages as well that follow the same mold as him, and he went as far as to put these accounts on his home page. And of the 4 separate channels that he links to that showcase other obsessive smokers, none of them have uploaded in years, making me wonder if they suffered from a similar fate. But ultimately, it proves that Dave created this channel not simply as a hobby, but as a fetish as well. Now, having a smoking fetish is a fairly common thing, but it's easy to tell that this is very different than just that.
Yes, it's totally different. It's totally different. I don't know what kind of addiction he had. It was not just smoking. It was something, it's something else. It's like a smoke and freakiness mixed together, and they made this. Smoking and freakiness mixed together. I don't know.
These people seem to be aroused by the most disturbing parts of smoking, the coughing, the wheezing, and the eventual cancer and death. Now, I've heard of fetishes where people like to watch others destroy their body, typically from overeating, to the point where they become obese and handicapped, along with
everyone. I don't know why people like that. No disrespect, okay? People who eat, the one dude who just got skinny, that nigga, nigga avocado or something like that. Him, I remember this man got famous from 3 things. Literally 3 things. Eating too much, acting like a Karen, and his fatness, his overweight. Now this nigga's skinny as fuck. But I don't know why people like to watch people eat. I feel like I don't know, that feels weird. Is that just me? I may be saying like people pissing people off, but is that just me? I feel like that's weird, right? You're watching somebody eat, and definitely don't fucking, what them fucking things when they get close to the fucking mic and they whisper, they be like, okay guys, we are here. And they start like hitting the mic and shit, like, and whispering and doing weird. I forgot what they're called, but I don't understand why people even like to listen to them and shit too. We are weird humans. We are weird humans. I'm scared what the future gonna look like. I'm scared what the future gonna look like, my nigga. I'm so fucking scared, because there's no way we this weird from shit like this, bro.
with others who fetishize the idea of doing that to themselves. They like the feeling of their own body shutting down slowly over time, thanks to their destructive behaviors. Although this is something that I wasn't really sure actually existed. But watching this channel, I can't help but wonder if Dave was into something similar. Maybe he liked the idea of his body decaying due to his smoking, and that's why he did it so obsessively, and continued to do it even when his health began to fail. So maybe this was the end game all along with this fetish. But either way, it's dark no matter what, because on one hand, it may have been his overarching goal to end his life by way of cigarette smoking. But on the other hand, if it wasn't, then you just have a group of people who are sexualizing this man's cancer and ultimately his death. But judging by his description,
they are weird people. They are weird ass people. Because there's no way you're getting freaky deaky because of a nigga having cancer, bro. Right now, cancer is not funny at all. It's not funny at all. I have a grandma downstairs who had it. Who had it. Let me say who had it. And it's not a funny it's not a joke. It's not a joke. And people are making, people on his channel doing this and getting freaky deaky because he got it.
and his frequent upload schedule, it's hard to believe that he wasn't at least aware of his audience, even posting videos especially for specific users who left comments making special requests. For his followers, Dave's passing was ultimately something they expected. But for our next channel, the disturbing mark that they would leave came out of nowhere. It was an account that featured sparse and practically unwatched content. The channel's name was Big Money T, and featured just a select few videos by a man named Trent Pashal. Over the course of the next 5 years, it seemed the thing that he would film most was his RC cars and family trips, showcasing his 2 young children, as well as his wife, Savannah.
Okay.
It was the type of content.
I'm not gonna cut with you. I know this is gonna be sound fucked up because I don't know what happened yet. Okay, I'm going to say it right here because I don't know what happens yet. I think his wife looked good. If you see this girl, she was single, like you was walking down the street or something. Will you holler at this? Will you holler at this? Be honest with me. Be honest with me. Be honest with me. Be honest with me, bro.
2 young children, as well as his wife, Savannah. It was the type of content that someone puts on YouTube, so they can look back on and remember their good times with the family. Active up until late October of 2020, when it would take the ultimate turn for the worst. Trent would upload a video titled simply by his daughter's full name, as the video was directed at both of Trent's children, as he apologized to them, further stating that this was their mother's fault and that he had caught her cheating.
Recording this because I want my daughter to know that I love you, Pascal. I'm so sorry that I've done this. I want you to know that you mean everything to me.
He did something, bro. I feel like he killed the mom or something. He did something, because there's no way you're just saying this and you're saying you're sorry that I did this. Like, he did something crazy.
I didn't choose this. Your mom chose this. She's been cheating on me for a long time. I didn't do nothing wrong to her.
It's a clip that you can tell is deeply personal, and probably not something that should be posted for everyone to see, as at first, many would likely assume that this was in regards to a potential divorce, or something along those lines. But in actuality, what Trent was talking about was far more twisted.
What?
On October 21st, 2020, the very day that the video was posted, Trent would hide in the shower of his bathroom, waiting for his wife Savannah to come home.
No disrespect, bro. But I would have to dig her down too. I ain't gonna count up.
Once Savannah had entered the bathroom, Trent would jump out, pulling a gun and firing twice, hitting her in the stomach. Savannah would later pass away due to her injuries.
RP.
Immediately after the murder, Trent would post this video to his children, apologizing for murdering their own mother, while at the same time blaming her for all this happening.
I put everything into this relationship. I have done nothing to your mom. I've never hit her. I've never hurt her. I've never called her names.
But you just hurt her now. There's a point that you just need to just walk away, bro. You need to. And I bet you he keeps turning around and looking, her body's just sitting there dead.
Throughout the video, Trent appears to cry on multiple occasions, although no tears actually fall.
I haven't done anything wrong. I'm like, why me? My hair's a mess and I look horrible. Oh, sorry. Take these off.
And it comes across as completely emotionless, as he shows no remorse for killing his wife and the mother of his kids. It's also made all the more disturbing, as he's clearly more focused on his hair and his looks, all the whilst he swears up and down that he is a good man.
I'm hurting so bad. I didn't do nothing wrong to her. I provided what I could. I've done what I could for her. I've done nothing but good for her. And I've treated y'all good. I've done good things for y'all.
After the video would go live, Trent would then call Savannah's aunt to confess to his crime and then take off from the home. Police would later find Trent at a local Walmart where he would pull a gun, but before he could shoot, authorities would open fire, striking the man in 3 separate places. And though being in critical condition, he would go on to survive these injuries and is currently awaiting trial.
It's like a 50
It's a
cent.
shocking crime and an equally as shocking video, especially given the fact that it was addressed to his young children, who now are without their mother. I mean, the whole situation is just wrong. But there is one more detail that makes this video even more disturbing.
What?
Throughout this final post, Trent can be seen looking to the right very often in a clearly nervous manner until the end when something catches his attention, causing him to grab the phone and run into a dark room before the recording would suddenly stop. And at first, I honestly thought that he was just nervous about the police coming and catching him. But in actuality, I don't think that that's the case. Instead, I think that his nervous looks to the side were being done in anticipation to his wife arriving at home. I say this because when he eventually gets up to hide, it sounds like someone had entered the house.
Love me like your own.
And when he walks into this dark room and shuts the camera off, you can clearly hear what seems to be the movement of a shower curtain. This sound is definitely noteworthy, considering the fact that Trent had hid in his shower before killing his wife. So I personally believe that this whole video was premeditated, and rather than this being filmed right after the murder, filmed this immediately before, as he likely shot and killed Savannah just moments after stopping the recording. It's a revelation that makes his demeanor all the more surprising, as he shows no remorse, regret, or even that much nervousness for that matter, despite knowing what he's about to do. The video itself quickly went viral, as the story became a national talking point, which led to YouTube stepping in and removing Trent's channel altogether, stating multiple community guideline breaches. However, today, this twisted clip can still be found circulating throughout the site. And as is the case with each of these 3 channels, the videos they have all left behind elicit that same uneasy feeling when you watch them back today, knowing the fate that would soon befall each of them.
That's crazy, bro. No, bro. Oh wait, there's another one? Oh wait, there's another one.
But out of all these channels, none of them quite match how visually creepy our final page is.
Uh-oh.
The channel's name is Francine Dancer, and before I can even begin to describe her videos, just have a look for yourself.
Maybe she had friends. Maybe she's one of the people who make up stuff in her mind. Maybe she got a good imagination. I'm just trying to make it weird.
That was a clip taken from her 2010 video called Tomstat Blues 088.avi that plays out the bizarre scene of a cat stuffed animal playing a keyboard, as well as a lady named Francine playing the guitar and singing. But out of all the elements of this decade-old video, it's clear which one is the most concerning. Highlighted within this clip is this off-looking, lifelike figure standing nearly motionless. However, there are certain moments where it appears to be moving, likely as a result of Francine dancing alongside it.
Maybe
it's unclear upon initial viewing what exactly this thing is, but the way it just stands there in such a limp manner implies that whatever it is, it's likely not alive. It's a figure that makes this video extremely unpleasant to watch, and as we're about to see, this wasn't the only clip that would feature it. In fact, in her very next upload, Francine gives us a closer look.
Don't get that close. That look like you know what that thing looks like? That look like the fucking old thing from SpongeBob. The old lady. It was like, they're selling chocolate. What? Chocolate. That look like that with a wig on. Bro, what the fuck did she get this from? Look at that shit. Look. Don't tell me that don't look like that. That look like that old lady with a wig on, bro. That looks scary as fuck. How did she make this? Does she live with somebody, like her parents, or how old is she?
It's something to me that appears completely unrecognizable. I mean, the figure does look very mannequin-like. However, this face is like no other mannequin I've ever seen. It looks dirty, almost decrepit. And to make things even darker, this thing appears to be hung by the ceiling. Francine...
What? I can't even see that.
Things even darker, this thing appears to be hung by...
I see a little bit, but you can't see that in the video. You have to be real close. I hope that's not a dead body. I hope that's not a dead body.
By the ceiling. Francine would go on to post 4 total videos featuring this thing before abandoning the channel altogether, having gone unnoticed by the majority of the platform. Well, that was until just recently, when some of these clips were picked up and shared across TikTok, throwing the channel and its strange contents into the limelight. Without context, many felt frightened, with the majority looking to the comments for guidance as to what was happening within these videos. And there, many would share the supposed story of Francine. The story goes that Francine used to be a star on TV, before the partner she performed with eventually passed away, essentially ending the show that the two had made together, and thus ending Francine's lifelong dream of becoming an actress. This would cause Francine to suffer a mental collapse, leading her to steal the body before it was buried and hiding it within her home. Once there, she would film these videos to relive the show that they once had in a desperate showing of denial, until eventually police would intervene and take the body back, leading to the arrest of Francine. Now, normally...
Please, no. You're telling me that's a dead body of her? She was a movie star with this person who died. She stole the body. I don't have no words.
Something as outlandish as this could easily be chalked up as an internet myth. But in actuality, someone would link to a separate video posted back in 2007, and in it we see her performing with a tall, lanky man who has the same body type as this figure. The figure is always shown wearing a bleach blonde wig, which one would imagine that if this man were to wear a similar wig, then the resemblance would certainly be there. It's a story that is extremely haunting, and if true, would certainly be one of the darkest internet mysteries found to date. But in actuality, it's really anything but. Just by doing some light research, it's revealed that Francine Dancer was in fact a star on TV, but not in the traditional sense. It seems that Francine had starred in a number of public access television shows in LA, where she would become somewhat of a household name thanks to these bizarre shows that she would put together. And these shows were very similar to what we see on her YouTube page, and not just from a content perspective. They are all similar because they both feature the same figure. And the show didn't just run more than a decade ago. It seems that it was actually active as of 2018. And within the clip, we can see Francine dance with not only that notorious lifelike mannequin, but with a new one as well. It's a revelation that completely disproves the myth that this thing was actually a corpse, a theory that baselessly spread around thanks to a few people trying to get a cheap scare out of it. But even though this is the case, what is the actual purpose of this? What are we actually watching here? Well, in other clips posted to YouTube, we see that this figure's name is actually Starry Dancer. It is essentially just a dressed up and painted mannequin. In one episode, Starry is even described as Francine's boyfriend. But ultimately, it seems pretty clear that this is all just an act. It's not an ARG or anything that's meant to be scary. It's just a bizarre, funny show that was really only made creepy due to its lack of context and false stories. And sure, the mannequin is still quite creepy, but the strangeness of it all has helped to propel Francine into a household name for many, while being completely harmless.
Our story begins. Before it's over, we hope you will never forget it.
August 23, 1987.
It starts with a chance encounter. Three hikers are backpacking their way through the densely wooded terrain of the Colorado Rockies, when, through the heavy brush, one of them would notice something bizarre hanging from the trees. It almost looked like a bunch of thin black vines, growing from the stems and overtaking this one particular branch, though it clearly didn't seem to belong there. As the closer they got, the more the object appeared to be man-made, which was confirmed by the sight of a horrifying discovery lying directly beneath it. Dropped there in the middle of the woods was the remnants of a small aircraft, one that had been there for what seemed like years judging by the rust and decay. And it wasn't just the craft itself that was in an awful state of decomposition, but also the two bodies within it. It was a heartbreaking scene, and a confusing one as well, as when officers arrived, the cause of the wreck wasn't immediately clear, and the possibility of this crash going without explanation seemed very real, had it not been for those ribbon-like vines hanging overhead. In reality, those strange objects were actually the remnants of a VHS tape, with its case being cracked open and its contents scattered about the area. And inside the craft itself were pieces of a broken camera, introducing the possibility that the two men inside may have been filming at the time of impact. And so, despite that exposed footage being out there in the elements for an extended period of time, it would be painstakingly pieced together and resurrected, revealing the following footage. On board the airplane had been 36-year-old pilot James Cadell, who had been taking his friend Ronald Wilmond for a flight from Granby to Jeffco, two regional airports in central Colorado near the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, which explains the breathtaking scenery that's so apparent throughout the footage. Throughout the 6-minute recording, we hear brief moments of monologue from James as Ronald sits behind him soaking in the view.
Oh, look at that down there, Ronnie, on the left.
Until this moment. The moment that, by many accounts from aviation experts, forever sealed the fate of the plane and its 2 occupants. All around them were tall mountains, which, despite looking beautiful, were soon going to become obstacles for the pilot, as due to something known as density altitude, the small aircraft would not have been able to climb to a higher altitude with enough time to avoid them. Though strangely, nothing is mentioned by James about this unfolding reality, leading some to theorize that he was distracted by the view, and maybe even looking downward at the pristine lake, while the mountain crept closer and closer. It's painful once you realize the predicament they're in. To those mountains, the less chance they have at maneuvering around them. And by the time they do realize, it's already much too late. Recognizing their plight,
I feel like I was in that. Oh my gosh. This is why I'm scared to get on planes, bro. I just felt like I was there. Oh my gosh.
Of certain death ahead, James was forced to attempt a nearly impossible U-turn, which ultimately would stall the plane, sending them careening to the fast approaching ground below, where the footage cuts out moments before impact, ending the lives of these 2 friends in an instant. And it's there that the wreckage would sit for over 3 years until those backpackers just so happened to take that same route.
3 years?
Today, the video is used
3 years?
as a teaching lesson for so many up-and-coming pilots, as countless schools across the country show the tape to their students in the hopes of preventing a similar tragedy. But evidently, the film has also found a home in the depths of this very site, where it has come to be known as one of YouTube's darkest videos.
For once again, he has come face to face with the adverse effects of density altitude.
He makes it feel like, I love your videos, bro.
Here it is.
Is this for me?
It's all yours. Now, who is left?
It was only the 22nd of December in the year 1990, but that didn't stop Vaughn Taylor from kicking off the holiday early, as he sat by the tree pulling out gift after gift and opening them in front of an old VHS camera. Behind that camera was Edward Deli, a longtime companion of Vaughn who seemed adamant on filming his friend's reaction to the presents.
Your light flashing on the phone, but
I'm glad I got these glasses on. I don't fucking my eyes.
how am I supposed to find out? And Lene. Come on, pass Oh wow. What is it? Baseball card.
Baseball card.
The video is a bit awkward, as the two momentarily bicker about the camera recording, and Vaughn hardly seems to acknowledge or show any sort of gratitude in response to the gifts he's receiving. But it's seemingly nothing too out of the ordinary, and is probably reminiscent of so many other home videos out there of friends and family members timidly opening up their presents, except for one overshadowing detail, with that being who these men actually are. Before this video was taken, both Vaughn and Edward had served time in prison, Edward for arson and Taylor for aggravated burglary, and upon their release it was hoped that the two were now reformed and would be able to live more lawful lives, which could not have been further from the truth. Almost immediately upon being released, Vaughn would call one of his friends to tell them that both he and Edward had plans to go into the mountains and, quote-unquote, shoot some people, and from there they set off into the wilderness of Oakley, Utah. On their expedition, the two stumbled across various cabins where they would break in and either camp out for a while or just completely ransack the place, as in most cases the owners of these cabins were long gone for the winter due to the inclement weather of the area. Though this wasn't true for everyone, as during the same time, the Tita family, consisting of Father Rolf, his wife Kay, and their 2 children, Lene and Trish, along with their 76-year-old grandmother, Beth Potts, had been staying in their cabin to celebrate Christmas together. And so, on the morning of the 22nd, the family would go into
I just hope, well, I'm thinking that I don't go like that. Oh my gosh, no. Please don't.
nearby Salt Lake City to finish off the last of their Christmas shopping, leaving the cabin unattended at the exact same time that Vaughn and Edward happened to be strolling through the area. Upon breaking in, the two quickly recognized that whoever was living there had only just momentarily stepped away and would be returning at the very latest by Christmas, as evidenced by the gifts sitting under the tree. And finding their first real opportunity to carry out their intended goal of murder, the two hunkered down and waited for the family to arrive back home. While hiding out, it's unknown what exactly the two had done to pass the time, except for a brief few minutes in which Edward would pick up the family's VHS camera and record Vaughn as he tore into the family's gifts. The added context makes this video all the more disturbing, as Vaughn was opening gifts belonging to the family that they were waiting to kill. And it's made all the more chilling when you notice that Vaughn is carrying a gun, along with the moment that he says Lene Tita's name as he reads it on the gift wrapping. And worst of all is that the gravity of the situation they were currently in clearly had no impact on these two men, as they were completely emotionless. And unsurprisingly, things only get darker from here, as after a few hours, Beth, Kay, and Lene would pull into the driveway. Upon entering the house, the pair of men would immediately point their guns at the family and start making demands, to which Lene responded by praying to God that her and her family be spared, which was of no use, as Edward turned to her and claimed that her prayers wouldn't work, as he only worshipped the devil. And moments later, the two would grab her mother and grandmother and end their lives for no apparent reason.
That is sad. What's wrong with these evil people, bro? Oh my gosh, what is wrong with these people? They were just trying to have a good Christmas together. But for real, that was their worst Christmas ever.
This left only 20-year-old Lene, who tried desperately to convince the men to leave, knowing in the back of her mind that her father Rolf and sister Trish would be arriving soon. But it was to no avail, as her pleading was interrupted by the sound of another snowmobile pulling into the driveway. Upon exiting their vehicle, both Trish and Rolf would be held at gunpoint, with Rolf being told to strip his clothes and give up all his money. Again, pleas were made to just take anything and leave them alone, but the two men remained unfazed. They wanted to cause pain and anguish to anyone and everyone, and nothing was going to stop them. And so, Vaughn pointed his gun at Rolf and pulled the trigger, striking the man in the face before delivering one final blow to the back of his head, leaving just the two daughters. Having thoroughly decimated what just an hour before was a happy, healthy family, Vaughn and Edward would cover Rolf and the cabin in gasoline and set them on fire, before hijacking the snowmobiles with the two remaining daughters and driving away down the hill to a nearby road. However, they weren't alone. On their way out, the kidnappers and their victims would notice a man waving to them in the distance, with the individual being Randy Zorn, their uncle, who recognized the two girls and attempted to flag them down. However, knowing that had they acknowledged their relationship, it would almost certainly get the man killed, they chose to ignore him and told the kidnappers that they had no idea who he was. Sensing something was off, Randy would follow the group down the mountain, where the men were now loading into the family's car. He waved to them once more, this time yelling at the group to stop and even running after them. But again, the girls pretended not to know them, sacrificing a chance at being saved in order to protect their uncle. Confused by this bizarre encounter and apparent urgency from the girls, Randy began to fear that something bad had happened at the family cabin, which was only confirmed when he heard another snowmobile tearing down the mountain. On it was a barely clothed Rolf, who despite being shot in the head twice, set on fire, and his eyes being almost completely swollen shut, was somehow alive, and had managed to get on a snowmobile to find help. And it was there that he told Randy, "I've been..."
He's a god, bro. No. He's a fucking god. The father is a god. This nigga was shot, burned, and he could not see. He could not see that much. But this nigga still got a way to get out the fire in his underwear, to get on the snowmobile and still find help. This man's a god. This man's a god, bro. He did his thing.
"Shot, my wife has been killed, and my daughters have been kidnapped." Something that most likely saved the lives of those two girls, as the police were contacted and were able to quickly track down the vehicle, where the kidnappers would accidentally run it right off the road, flipping it over multiple times before crashing into a ravine. Quite shockingly, no one would be badly injured in the wreck, and following a brief shootout, Vaughn and Edward gave in and were swiftly arrested, bringing this whole nightmare to an end. When the dust eventually settled, Edward would end up receiving life in prison, while Vaughn, the man shown here opening the family's gifts, was sentenced to death, with both men reportedly being visibly shocked at the sight of Rolf.
I feel like both of them need the death. I'm not gonna count with you. I need both of them. Why one of them? I mean, yeah, he did the craziest part, but he's still, bro, I don't care. The other guy needed to.
When he showed up to court to testify against them, Rolf would later go on to make a full recovery, which definitely ends the story off on an empowering note. Though the carnage left behind by these two men in the moments following this video make it undoubtedly one of the darkest on the site.
It is. It's crazy.
I gotta keep watching the southwest side. It's where most of them come from.
You think it's likely?
No. The odds are way against it, even in weather like this. But there's always a chance.
The day was already off to a terrifying start, as hail began to fall from the sky and the sun became completely concealed by the dark clouds forming overhead. This was nothing out of the ordinary for the area though, as Joplin, Missouri is and has been notorious for its consistent threat of massive tornadoes. And so, despite the fear of an impending tornado looming in the area, many just continued about their normal lives, including a select few who even showed up for school, like Will Norton. The then 16-year-old had been attending Joplin High School, which he was headed for that very day to attend an early morning tennis practice, only to be met by those extreme conditions, with Will later going on to describe the harrowing events of that day in a YouTube video titled, "I Nearly Died."
7:20. So I get ready really fast and I rush to school, out the door, and then I'm leaving for school and there is just tons of rain and the wind is so crazy. You just see water. It's like horizontal rain and all the cars are like veering. I was having trouble keeping my car on the road. I drive a Hummer. This should not be happening. Anyway, I made it safely home and I think I'm just gonna go take a nap for the rest of my life because I didn't die. Oh my gosh, I'm done.
The video was posted to his YouTube channel called WillDeBeast88883333, where he had found genuine success in the early days of YouTube, becoming a pioneer on what was then a brand new space, long before YouTubers were ever actually a thing.
Okay.
But throughout his entire channel, this upload was by far the most chilling, not just due to the brush with death he experienced that day, but because of the events that would unfold just 2 years following its release. The date was May 2nd, 2011, but for students of Joplin High School, they simply referred to it as Graduation Day, the day in which Will and his classmates would walk the stage into the next chapter of their lives.
I graduated 2019. Yep, that's when I graduated.
It was an event that Will and his family watched excitedly from
high school. Just letting y'all know.
The crowd, before the moment was interrupted by the ringing of a tornado siren. These sirens lasted only around 30 seconds, leaving many unfazed as they were practically a daily routine in the area, given just how common severe weather was. And with no further alerts coming through their phones, aside from a standard warning letting them know that conditions were ripe for a tornado, things continued on as normal from there. With the rain now starting to fall, Will's sister Sarah, along with their mother and grandmother, chose to hop in the car and head home in order to get a head start on preparation for the night's graduation party, leaving Will and his father around 20 minutes behind, with Will driving the two home in his beloved Hummer, which he had mentioned often across his channel. And with that, the family was split up into two cars, one that at this point was almost home, and another that was just beginning their route. Which is when things began to get more worrisome. Suddenly, the rain fell even harder, and the winds began blowing horizontally, to the point that trees were starting to bend over and eventually break due to the strain. Recognizing the worsening conditions, Mark would call Sarah, who had just arrived at home, to ask her to open the garage for them so they can pull right in and avoid having to get out in this worsening weather. A request that couldn't be completed, as right after their phone call, the power would suddenly shut off, rendering the door impossible to open. And so, Sarah called back with the update to let the two know that they would likely have to park outside and make a run for it through the front door. Though by this point, the sound of wind was nearly deafening over the phone, and despite repeatedly asking, "Dad, where are you?" all she could hear was wind. Until the sound was broken by her father yelling, "Will, pull over. There's the tornado. Pull over."
The tornado was right there?
From the KSN Storm Center, this is a severe weather alert.
Oh shit, I thought it was on the news for real.
Good evening, we've got some information on this storm. Let's go ahead and go to the Freeman First Alert Doppler radar. Trained weather spotters in Galena are reporting now sightings of funnel clouds going off in Joplin. Those are definitely power flashes that we are seeing on the ground.
Have a tornado on the ground?
This is a tornado, yeah, this is a very dangerous situation. We cannot stress this enough. If you are in Joplin, please take cover. No, it is certainly going off. Caitlin, I'm just looking out the door right now. Please do not go outside.
Towering in front of Will and his father was a massive 1-mile wide tornado, with its winds gusting around 250 miles per hour. It was an EF5, the highest ranking a tornado can achieve. Suddenly, all Sarah could hear over the phone was the sound of crashing and destruction, before the call would be dropped. In that very moment, the tornado would come in direct contact with the Hummer, causing it to flip in the air multiple times, and despite Mark desperately holding on to his son, Will would slip through his father's arms and be sucked out of the car's sunroof. Somehow, Mark would manage to survive the direct hit of the tornado, but so many others were not as lucky, as the disaster would leave a staggering 158 people.
The dad survived.
Dead.
I'm not gonna cap, all the dads in this video so far are fucking gods or God's plans. Cause the first dad, the nigga literally got shot, burned, and still drove a snowmobile to go find help. Then now, this dad got hit with a fucking tornado in a car. The car got flipped over. I don't know how many times he said, but the car got flipped over or something, and the dad survived that, but the son didn't. That's so sad. That's so sad. I know he's sad. I know they have been crying about that.
Including Will, who despite being missing for days, would be found at the bottom of a nearby pond days later. The story alone is incredibly grim, but it's made all the more disturbing by the video posted 2 years before, which now features so many chilling moments of foreshadowing.
I'd pull over into the big puddles and I was like, ah! Keep in mind, I drive a Hummer, so really I shouldn't have any reason to be scared. Anyway, I made it safely home, and I think I'm just gonna go take a nap for the rest of my life. I'm done. I am done. I'm never driving in weather again, ever. Bye, guys.
And celebrates his life as opposed to focusing on his tragic passing, with Sarah herself even bravely coming forward and releasing a video outlining her entire story of that day.
He's in a good place. It's just hard on us who are left here dealing with all of it, but it's okay. He's just in the best place ever. So, yeah, that's something to be happy about.
Our final video is probably one of the most unusual cases that I've come across in quite some time, with that being the story of Akmal Sheikh. Born in Pakistan in 1956, Sheikh had spent the majority of his life unnoticed, spending his days mainly outside of the gaze of the public eye, though that didn't mean his life was uneventful by any means. Over the years, Sheikh would move from country to country starting numerous new businesses, like in the 80s when he moved to the US to become a real estate agent, and then in the 90s when he moved to London to start a minicab business. With the only problem being that none of these ventures ever really stuck, causing him to live in a state of poverty, even at one point going bankrupt following the decline of his cab business. And his failures didn't stop there, as in 2003, Sheikh would be accused of sexual harassment and unfair dismissal of a 24-year-old employee, resulting in his wife taking his kids and filing for a divorce, which would be far from his last legal struggle. In 2005, Sheikh was placed under official investigation following the London bombings, as he was caught sending a text to his friends stating, "Now everyone will understand who Muslims are and what jihad is," while at the same time being accused of threatening his ex-wife. Now, none of these claims ever led to any official legal charges, though he would be arrested just months later for driving under the influence. As you can see, Sheikh's life was a roller coaster, and at this point he was on his largest drop yet, disgraced and living off of handouts and eating out of soup kitchens nearly every night, until the year 2007, when his life would change forever. During a public demonstration that year, Sheikh would be introduced to a man named Gareth Saunders, a musician who had ties all throughout the music industry, including with numerous recording studios in the area. And it was during this chance meeting that Sheikh's life purpose would be discovered. At some point prior, Sheikh, a man with no musical experience whatsoever, had written a song called "Come Little Rabbit," which he believed would propel him to worldwide stardom. But it went even deeper than that, as Sheikh was so sure that not only would the song break records and become a global phenomena, but also that it would bring the world together and usher in a new era of peace on Earth. In a sense, he believed that this song could truly save the world. And with this in mind, he began to beg his new acquaintance to help him record the song in a studio, a request that Gareth eventually seemed to accept, as that very same year, "Come Little Rabbit" would be recorded and released to the public.
Okay, let me hear it.
Come little rabbit, come to me. Come little rabbit, let it be. Come little rabbit, come and pray. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Illallah, illallah. La ilaha illallah. Illallah, illallah.
See, I could say the truth, but when I tell somebody the truth, it hurts people's feelings. Yeah, it hurts people's feelings when I tell the truth. So, I ain't gonna tell the truth. Well, I'm going to say, keep up the good work. I don't know what the fuck that was.
As you can probably tell just based on how things are going so far, the song did not perform as intended, and sadly the world did not come together in harmony upon its release. Likely because the song just wasn't very good.
Hey, I ain't saying it. I was thinking it. Because every time I tell the truth to somebody, they always want to cry. But 100%, hey, I ain't gonna say it.
The sad reality of the situation was that Akmal Sheikh was a very mentally unwell man, and these big dreams that he had throughout his life were, in most cases, more so delusions. And though we don't know for sure what exactly he was suffering from, many close to him described his behavior as being on par with severe bipolar disorder, and Come Little Rabbit was the latest example of his struggling mental state, representing a point in which he detached his furthest from reality. And sadly, it was this very song that would drive his life to an even lower point. As the world continued on with its usual chaos after the release of Come Little Rabbit, Sheikh still believed that it could provide peace on Earth, becoming convinced that the only reason it hadn't worked already was that no one knew who he was. But this was all going to change after he received an opportunity that would shift the course of his life. Around the same time, Sheikh was introduced to a man named Akol, who had just the opportunity waiting for him. By pure chance, a once-in-a-lifetime performance had opened up in one of China's biggest nightclubs that just so happened to be owned by Akol, and supposedly being impressed by Come Little Rabbit, Akol decided he was going to fly Sheikh out to China to fill that slot and perform in front of thousands.
That nigga put you up for failure. That nigga put you up for failure. I don't know why he did that to you. Make you sing that weak ass song in front of thousands in Japan. He said Japan, right? Or China?
He was going to fly Sheikh out to China.
China, my bad. China. That's worse. Because you know, China, if you play music in China or Japan, if you go around there, you play something, you gonna get famous just like that. And you can get famous from that, you gonna go around the world for real. That shit, yeah, he put that nigga as failure.
To fill that slot and perform in front of thousands. And so on September 12th, 2007, Akmal would be flown to China free of charge to make his dream a reality. But before leaving, Sheikh was given a single suitcase by Akol, which he was told to bring along with him to their destination, since due to a scheduling conflict, Akol had to grab a later flight, leaving Akmal all on his own. By all accounts, the flight there went smoothly, though trouble quickly arose when the plane touched down at Urumqi Airport in China, as there was one major issue. Sheikh didn't speak the language, and so once released at the gate, the man had no idea where to go and was unable to communicate with anyone, leading to him pacing around nervously and acting slightly erratic, which didn't go unnoticed by airport security. They watched the man's behavior deteriorate for several minutes before ultimately making the decision to detain him and search his belongings, believing that surely he was up to something suspicious, which is when they'd open that very bag given to Akmal by Akol, only to discover a staggering 4 kilograms of heroin.
They set him up. Oh, they set my boy up. They set him up. They set my nigga up. They set my nigga up, bro. They set him up. They set him up. They set my nigga up, bro. They set my nigga up. Oh. Oh. No. They did my boy crazy. Oh.
The discovery sent Sheikh into a panic, as he was completely unaware that he was transporting illegal contents because the bag didn't even belong to him, stating adamantly that it belonged to his friend Akol, who was flying in on the next flight and would be there soon to help clear things up. And so surprisingly, security seemed to believe him, as they all sat waiting for Akol to step off the next plane and set the entire situation straight, though he never did. In reality, Sheikh had been tricked into becoming a drug mule, taken advantage of with his mental illness used against him to
they set my nigga up. Oh.
make him commit a crime he had nothing to do with. There was never any club and there was never any performance. It was all just a ruse. And despite the authorities' willingness to wait for the man at first, their patience soon wore thin, and Sheikh was arrested for drug smuggling. with his punishment being death.
A British
You're telling me this man did not do shit. He didn't do nothing to nobody. But he got set up by a nigga who told him, oh, we can make your music good. Go to China. We're having 1,000 people listen to your music there. We got this playing for you. But here's a suitcase. And 100% just take the suitcase with you. They didn't know how to speak no language or nothing. Then make this nigga get caught with the suitcase you gave him with weed and stuff in it. And there was no such thing of the things that he told them. Now this man had to get the death penalty because of this. R.I.P. bro.
British man convicted.
He just wanted to just make the world a better place. That's what he wanted to do. Oh my God, that's all he wanted to do. Oh my gosh, bro, that's all he wanted to do. That's all he wanted to do. He didn't do nothing wrong.
Of drug smuggling in China has now been told of his fate. Akmal Sheikh will be executed by firing squad within 24 hours unless the Chinese authorities have mercy on him. His family says he has a history of mental illness and may have been duped into smuggling drugs by traffickers.
The decision was extremely controversial all across the world, with the backlash leading to the case being heard for a second time in 2009. And despite numerous requests by Sheikh's lawyer to have the man undergo a mental evaluation, as he had been quite clearly taken advantage of, they were rejected, and the initial ruling was upheld, with the date being set for his execution on the 29th of December. Following this shocking decision, the first and one of the only full recordings of Come Little Rabbit would be posted to YouTube, which featured not only the lyrics, but also the sad story of Sheikh along with it, including a call to the viewers to join the effort in stopping the impending execution, as part of a massive final push to change the minds of China's government.
Come to me, come little rabbit, let it be. Come little rabbit, let us pray. La ilaha illallah.
But it was no use, and on the morning of December 29th, Akmal Sheikh would receive a lethal injection, with China supposedly walking back their plans to execute him via firing squad. Though either way, the man was dead, and his body would never be returned. Today, the video of Akmal's song and the pleas to save his life remain as a forgotten relic here on YouTube, encapsulating the story of a man whose desire to bring the world together in song was cruelly taken advantage of. And though it was peace that he was so desperately seeking, the song would only lead to his ultimate demise.
Come little rabbit, come to me. Come little rabbit, let it be.
This is the end of the video. Go check out the dude's channel. It's gonna be down in the description. Click his name, take you right to his page. This guy makes good content. Y'all have to go subscribe to this man's, bro. He's really good. But yeah, I'm 25. Damn, I'm 25 years old, bro. 25. But yeah, we're gonna do a live stream. I'm gonna get everybody together, and all of that. So yeah, like the video, subscribe, and I'll see all of y'all on the flip side. Check that video on the side. I'll see y'all later, and goodbye.